First, take a look at your key concept. At the top of the page, we have the idea of solving problems that involve percent markup and percent markdown. Remember, a markup is what happens when a store has to increase the price of something in order to make money when they sell it. Markdown amount, or a percent markdown problem, would be what happens when a store puts something on sale. In both cases, the original value is going to be the whole in your percent equation. The markup amount and the markdown amount in both cases represent your part. So your equation stays the same. Part equals percent times whole. Remember, in order to find the part, you have to subtract the new value and the original value to find their difference. First, let's take a look at question number 4. An item costs $4 before tax and $4.32 after sales tax. What is the sales tax rate? In this question, we have a percent markup because the original cost of $4 is less than the final cost, which is $4.32. So the first thing that we're going to do is subtract to find out how much the price increased. So $4.32, take away $4, makes an increase of 32 cents. So in this problem, the part is 32 cents. That is equal to the percent P, or the sales tax rate that we're trying to find, times the original cost of those shoes, which was $4. So on both sides of the equation, we're going to divide by 4. Now, can you determine what P is equal to? And then change that back into a percent. P is equal to 800ths, which means when we change that back into a percent, it's 8% sales tax. Now let's take a look at question number 6. Here we have 2 items and we are asked to find the sale prices. So part A says we have an item that costs $4,200 and it has a 35% markdown. So let's first take this problem and set up our percent equation. So we don't know by how much that is being marked down. So that's going to be our A value. In this case, our amount A of markdown. We know that it's being marked down by 35%, so I'm going to change that into its decimal form and multiply it times the whole, which is $4,200. In this problem, I can go ahead and just do the multiplication. What is 35% of $4,200? Well, hopefully you got 1,470. But remember, that doesn't tell us the answer to the question. The answer to the question says, what is the sale price of that item? And remember, the sale price is going to be the original cost minus the markdown amount. So the sale price of that item will be $2,730. Now I'd like for you to try part B. Pause the video while you do this one and then come back and check your answer. All right, take a moment to look at the work that goes with part B. I did that one just like I did part A. So we need to find 44% of the original cost, which was $5,000. And once we do that, we get $2,200. And remember, that's the amount of the markdown. So after we know the markdown amount, we have to take that away from the original price of $5,000 to find the sale price, which is $2,800. Now let's move on to some more questions on the next page. Now I'd like for you to try questions 7 and 8 on your own. Come back and check each answer when you finish that problem. Now let's check question 7 before moving on to question 8. Let me know if you have any questions or if you don't understand any part of question 7. So as you're working through number 8, notice that they give you some instructions to help you find that markup amount. Remember that markup amount is your part. And the wholesale cost is what the business paid for the item, and that would be your whole. So finding the part is essential to then solving that percent markup equation. All right, and go ahead and check that percent equation, the work that we did to solve it, and change it back into its percentage form. Notice that this decimal was one of those ugly decimals. It went on forever on your display, probably took up the whole space. And even when you multiplied by 100, it still filled up that display. So when I looked at the sentence to answer the question, it does say the percent markup is about, and we changed that into 44%. So we just rounded that to the nearest whole number. Now I'd like for you to try question 11. Nate has $50 to spend at the grocery store. He fills his shopping cart with items totaling $46. At checkout, he will have to pay 6% sales tax on all the items in his cart. Does he have enough money to buy everything in his cart? Explain. What is the first thing that we need to do to determine if he has enough money to buy everything in his cart? Remember, the items in his cart currently total $46, and he has to pay 6% sales tax. What is the amount of sales tax that Nate will have to pay for those items? So remember, our percent equation says part equals percent times whole. Right now, we just need to figure out how much sales tax is Nate going to have to pay. So I'm going to take the 6% sales tax and change that over into its decimal form. Next, I'm going to look at the whole. How much do the items in his cart all together total? That $46 is the whole amount. What we're looking for here is the part, which is the amount of sales tax that Nate will have to pay. And that tax amount is equal to 600 times 46, which is equal to a tax of $2.76. Now, it said Nate at the beginning of the problem has $50. He currently is spending $46 on his items in his shopping cart, plus he has to pay the sales tax of $2.76. So how much is Nate spending altogether? Does Nate have enough money? And the answer is yes. His bill will be $48.76 with tax. Now let's go on and just try a couple more questions on the last page. On the very last page, I'd like for you to take a look at questions 15 and 16. Let's first do question 15 together. Eliza cannot decide which of two bicycles to buy. The original price of each is $380. The first is marked down by 50%. The second is marked down by 30% with an additional 20% off. So in part A, we're going to find the sale price of each bicycle. So let's call these bicycles Bicycle 1 and Bicycle 2. So Bicycle 1 is $380 and is marked down by 50%. So the A amount of markdown is equal to the percent, 50% in its decimal form, times the original price of the bicycle, which is $380. So the amount that bicycle number 1 is marked down is 50% of 380, which is equal to $190. So that makes the selling price, or the sale price, of bicycle number 1 $380, take away $190, which is equal to $190. Now let's do the same thing with bicycle 2. Bicycle 2 also costs $380, but first we need to find how much that markdown is equal to if it is marked down 30% first of that $380 price. So the amount that it is marked down first is equal to $114. So right now, the sale price of bicycle 2 before the extra discount is $380. Take away $114, which is equal to $266. Now, that's not the final price because it tells us that they get an additional 20% off. So now we have to solve that equation again. But this time, our whole amount is going to be equal to $266. The percent off, our additional percent, is the 20%, which we've changed to a decimal right here. So now, how much is 20% of $266? And that amount is $53.20. Now your calculator probably showed you 53 and 2/10 or 53.2. But remember, this is dollars and cents. So we need to have two places after the decimal. Now, in order to find the final sale price for this item, this bicycle, we need to take that $266 and subtract from it the extra discount, which is $53.20, and we get a final sale price of $212.80. So now let's take a look at part B. Which bicycle should Eliza buy if the bicycles are the same except for the selling price? Well, in this case, if Eliza is trying to save money, she needs to buy bicycle number 1 because it is the better deal. $50% off is more than 30% off with an additional, oops, that's not what I wanted to write. let's try that again, with the additional 20% off. Even though 30 plus 20 makes 50, it's not the same discount amount. And finally, let's work through question 16. A shoe store uses a 50% markup for all of the shoes it sells. What would be the selling price of a pair of shoes that has a wholesale cost of $57? Now remember, the wholesale cost is what the store has to pay to get the item there. That's going to be the original cost. So that is our whole amount. The 50% markup tells us by what percentage we are going to mark up the item. So as we are working this, the first thing that we need to do is find out what is the amount of that markup for those shoes. So 50% as a decimal is 0.5 or 5/10 times the original cost of the shoes, which was $57. So that markup amount, let me try this again. There we go. So that markup amount is the 50% times the $57 or $28.50. So that's the amount that every pair of shoes gets marked up if it's $57 originally. So to find the final selling price, remember we need to take that $57 and add to it the markup amount of $28.50 to get a final selling price of $85.50. All right, make sure that all of your work is in your book as well as the notes that go with each of those examples throughout the lesson.